live.
We are rolling. Here we are
Rolling.
at the Cavalry.
Wow, it's good to be back. Good to be back with you, Johnny. How you doing, Johnny?
Good. I feel like I'm a hipster. I'm good. I'm in my recording studio.
Johnny's wearing his cool guy knit cap. It's a.
You know what's funny is this. It's a Marquette cap, because I get all these emails like, "Hey, will you donate to Marquette? If you donate any amount, we'll send you a beanie." So I donated $5. That probably cost them more than that just to ship it and make it.
Yes, you cost your university money by donating $5. Good for you. But see, you learned something at Marquette.
I beat the system. Yeah.
Strong Catholic institution. I've been to Marquette.
Yep.
Nice place. Yeah. Well, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I just kind of a milestone. I installed the car seat in the car. I was like,
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, I was freaked out about it. You know, because I didn't want to be like. I guess they inspect it before you're allowed to take your baby home. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some hospitals.
Right. So this hospital is claiming that they will check before they send us home with the baby. Yeah. And so I was very I wanted to be sure I had my ducks in a row. I didn't want to be like the idiot where it's like falling off the seat. And like, I thought it was good. I don't know. You know,
yeah.
Get scolded at. So I was like working on it. And it's very complicated. Car seats, very, very complicated. But
it's very funny hearing you say that, because I remember when our first was born, being like, "Okay, this is so tricky. Got to get it in, blah blah blah." And I was like, "We should go to the fire department, because they'll do it for you. That's like one of their things. You take it to the fire department."
Yeah.
Like, I take those things in and out so much because we got to move stuff in the back of the minivan, throw them back in, and now it's like, you know. You get to Target and it's like, oh, this wasn't even clipped in. Whatever, you know.
You're like one of those Marines that can put their gun together blindfolded.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying now you just care less, you know.
Oh.
After you have 3 kids, you're like, whatever, it's probably fine. It'll be fine. Where are the odds?
Well, that's true, because they have these anchor straps.
Mm-hmm. And they're such a pain.
The book, and it was like, in the Prius, there's no anchors on a Prius. Like, the whole thing's made out of styrofoam and cardboard. There's no metal.
Yeah.
You know, so there's nowhere to strap that. So I was really like killing myself looking. But then I realized when it's facing, because then you got to put them backwards.
Yeah, you got to have them rear facing till they're like 13 or something.
There's nowhere to strap them anyway. So I don't know. But I felt like the seatbelt's got to be good enough. And so that's what we're going with. If someone's listening to this and like it's not good enough, you need the anchor strap, let me know, and I will make the.
Yeah, let us know with a 5-star review.
Save my child's life with a 5-star review. So that's. Oh, and also before, I just wanted to tell this quick story because it relates to our last episode where I talked about perineum massage.
Oh yes.
Which is, if you weren't listening, where you I as the partner kind of stretch out my wife's vagina to get her ready to have a baby. And so we've been doing this off and on. And I told my wife that I talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, did you talk about what you did? And I was like, well, what did I do? You know? And she roasted me so bad. So I don't even remember doing this, but I guess the last time we did it, I was very tired. And again, like I said, there's nothing romantic about it.
Right.
They say massage, it's a stretch.
It's a task.
And it's not leading to anything. And so I begin the process. I'm fingers inserted. I got the olive oil. And she's like, could see me because it was late at night and I get sleepy at night. Now that stand-up is not happening, I'm like 10:30, I'm out almost every night. So this is past my bedtime. And she can see me drifting off as I'm holding the fingers out. And it's like my knees are, it's an uncomfortable position because you're up, but then, you know, my knees are hurting and I'm kind of falling asleep. And she's annoyed because she's like, your fingers are inside of me. You have to look a little more engaged. And I guess she said hey, do you want to quit? And I said in this tone of voice, apparently, while my fingers are inside of her, like, what? I'm doing it. That's exactly, apparently. I don't remember it coming out like that, but she swears that is while my fingers were inside her. I sounded like a 6-year. What? I'm doing it. So,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's how romantic perineum massage it can be.
Yeah, the whining foreplay. What?
Yeah. What? I'm doing my best.
I'm preparing the birth canal.
It's amazing. I'm going to be a father. I don't know how I did it. Anyway, so that was just a little update to last week's
nice
problems. But
if I can, a little pre-show banter extension here.
Sure. By all means.
If you're somewhere and you're wearing a mask, and no one, like, you're at a place where they are not wearing a mask, and they're like, oh, you don't have to wear a mask, and you want to wear a mask, and you say, don't say, oh no, I'm wearing this to protect you guys. That's not a good thing to say, because then they'll say, oh no, it's fine, you can take it off, because then you're stuck saying, well, and protecting me as well. Yeah. I learned that the hard way in Utah.
That is so. Wait, you were in Utah, and they?
No, this was the while back. I talked about that. Yeah.
So that's so right, because no one. That's what they told us. They told us, oh, the mask actually protects other people, but deep down we're all like, I'm wearing this because you guys are disgusting, right? Not because of me,
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And the we talked about, like, you and I were the only ones at the airport wearing the mask, the N95, and the plastic shield. So I get it, the kid, and remember, I got picked up in Vegas. So I had a, hour and a half drive to the place with, my driver, one of the people from the gig, and I just kept it on the whole time in the car, because my wife kept texting me, what, you got to drive with someone? Do they have a mask on? And they didn't. I was like, no. And she's like, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You better not take yours off. So I was like, all right, if I come back from with COVID, I'll get in trouble. So I just kept my mask and the face shield on in the car, just me and the other guy. Is that rude? Like, oh no,
I did the same thing.
You're the only person that can infect me, and I'm keeping this on.
Right. But I did the same thing. When I did the gig in Philly, I wore the mask, and I already had the shield on at the airport, so it was very easy just to kind of like extend that into the Uber ride.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the guy took it personally or not, but my wife being pregnant thing is like amazing for that, because then you just I throw her under the bus. Like, oh yeah, if it were me, we would be fucking coughing in each other's mouths. I wouldn't care, but my old lady is pregnant, so I have to not get this debilitating disease on her account.
Right.
But if it weren't for that, man,
we'd be 69ing back here, but I just
right. Just raw dogging it in the lift.
Right.
But yeah. And those experiences were a few months ago, and goddamn, did it turn out to be prophetic. We've been trying to tell people no one's taking it seriously, and we are reaping the rewards of that, it seems. So
I just saw
thank
a
God.
headline.
Oh, go ahead.
I saw a headline in Omaha. The headline of the paper, I think today, was 74 people died in Omaha in 1 week from COVID.
It's horrible. I saw in Iowa, they have a governor or something, and they're like, just now, they're like, okay, we're going to require masks. Like, now, this is what it's like, all right, now I've seen enough. Let's go with the masks.
We'll try this mask thing everyone's talking about.
It's like your house is basically ashes. It's like, okay, go ahead and call the fire department. But I didn't believe the whole flames thing before. I thought pretty sure it was going to go out by itself, but now that it's smoldering ash, that's what's so funny, because it's like now we're already to the point where we're going to get vaccines. I don't know. That's kind of exciting, you know. Me and Heidi, we can't wait. We're like, oh my God, I get this vaccine. We're going to go out, you know, do everything.
69 our Uber drivers.
69 our Uber drivers.
Right.
Finally, get back to that.
Right.
Don't you miss the warm embrace? But that's what America's like. We should have known, like, it was just going to be, we were going to come up with a vaccine. We were going to be the worst at like the hard work of avoiding the disease, but we're going to be the best at the shortcut where you just get the shot and you're fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of our MO. So I do believe that that's our only way out. Yeah. So there we go. We'll get the vaccine, man, and we're back.
America.
There we go.
Man.
Well, good pre-show banter.
Good. That was rich.
Let's just pat ourselves on the back right there.
That's good pre-show banter. Oh my gosh.
Denny's
over there
episodes.
With a boner, giving me 2 thumbs up. That's nice.
I always forget my fake assistant's name. I think it was Paula.
Paula, that's what it was. Yeah.
Paula. She's. Is
that the same Paula from Larry Sanders Show?
No.
Oh, it's a different one.
Different Paula. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That actually makes sense.
That's why I never did well at like UCB, because someone would try to suggest something like, "Hey, looks like your hair is green." I'd be like, "No, it's not. It's brown hair."
Yeah. No, it's not. You're being silly.
There's nowhere for it to go. Okay, Johnny, what do you need backup on this week?
All right. Well, we'll start with this one. It's coming. We're coming towards Christmas. If you celebrate that kind of thing, gift giving, Hanukkah, whatever. The worst. I'm pretty sure this is an easy one. Anyone could back me up. We got to figure out what's worse. What's a worse gift than a book? Because I get every year I get a book from my mother-in-law, and I've never read any of them. And
what kind of books?
Well, I see in her, I don't even know 2 of them, but one was a Stephen King, because she knows I like to read Stephen King, but Stephen King and his son wrote a book, and it's like 800 pages, and I didn't get it when it came out because I didn't want to read it, and then I got it as a gift, and I just have it on my shelf. And then the last one was Cavalier and Clay, which I carried around when we were on the cruise in February and didn't start because we brought our Switches and our Nintendo Switches, which I should let our listeners know that I did beat Breath of the Wild from start to finish on the cruise. But I didn't touch that.
Who had time to read a book?
All right, yeah. You don't read, and don't read on cruises. But I'm still I'm on page 220, and I started it, in I don't know, May or June, and I haven't touched it in probably over 2 months.
You were like in the most reading friendly atmospheres in the world, because not only were you on a cruise, and then immediately after you got off of the cruise, you've been on a 6-month lockdown.
Yeah.
So a lot of time to read.
A lot of time. But in my defense, I do have 3 children, and that will destroy free time.
True.
But so, what is a worse gift?
Well, let me back you up. Let me tell you why first that it's a bad gift, because there's probably a lot of people listening who are like, "What? A book's a great gift, Some people love to read." But what I will say is, like, your mother-in-law at this point, she knows you, and if anything, continuing to give someone a book every year is a little passive aggressive. It's a little, it's a little bit like, could you mix in a few books maybe into your whole consumption and your lifestyle? Maybe a little reading to round out your sort of personality,
I know you love your HBO series, but maybe throw a book in here and there.
This is like a TV show in your mind.
Right. Oh, wow.
This is like a video game, but more work and less
Yeah, but
fun.
you're reading.
No. Yeah. What's a worse gift than a book? First of all, books are tough gifts too because you really have to know like
You have to know the
specific
person.
tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like some people are gonna love like only history and biographies, and they don't love fiction. Some people it's the opposite. Some people like more of the like sci-fi kind of fantasy stuff and nothing else. So and it's such a time commitment, like you said. Some people, weeks. Some of us, multiple years to
Right.
finish a book. So it has to really be something you're committed to.
You ever had
It's
someone like
asking a lot.
lend you a book that you didn't ask for?
Yeah.
I had a buddy who was like, "Oh, here, I read this. You gotta read it." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm so far behind in my list. I got so many books I gotta read." It's like, "Well, I already read it, so I'm not." And I knew I just have no interest in this particular book. And so I was like, "No, I got too many books." He's like, "Well, here, take it." So then I was just like, "Oh, great! Now I have a book I don't ever want to read, and I have to have it in my house."
And then you just have to like judge a certain amount of time that you can give it back to him. It's like, all right, how long do I wait till I tell this guy he can have his book back? That
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Well, you can't
Uh,
do that because then it's like, "What'd you think?" It was good. What was your favorite
I don't.
part? People
It's
don't
it's.
ask that.
What's your favorite part? Like it's
Uh,
a book report. What
yeah.
were some of the themes you noticed? um, it's that point though now, even with like TV shows where people will recommend. I can't even forget books. People like harp on you to watch. My mom consumes television now. She's retired at a rate that is like unprecedented. Me and my wife, we were gonna watch The Crown. Came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, I think there's a new season out already. And she's like, what, really? And I was like, yeah, let me check. And I look, and it's, oh no, it's the one we've seen because they were all listed as watched every episode.
Right.
I was like, no, we haven't seen these. My mom, we all share the same. My little brother's Netflix,
Oh, she
but
watched.
she had already burned through the entire season. And I was still away. She was like, have you watched? I want to talk to her about the chess show. We watched this Queen's Gambit show. And I call her. I'm like, hey, we finished that show. And she's like, oh, yeah, that was good. I'm on. And she's already like 6 shows past. So
Oh
it is very
gosh.
difficult to keep up with people's recommendations. But books are even, I mean, that's like so far. I've been
Yeah.
trying to read this Bonfire of the Vanities. I bought that like at a used bookstore a while ago, and it's just taking me forever to finish. And I don't
And
know.
don't they? Isn't that a movie? Don't they have a movie of that?
Yeah, they do. They do have a movie of that. I have not seen the
Well, there
movie.
you
I'm
go.
like, I'm so.
Just do
Has
that, Andrew.
your mother-in-law bought you any books for Christmas that were movies that you could cheat?
No, nope,
No.
nope, nope,
Okay.
nope.
Well,
No. Did you watch Handmaid's Tale?
yeah. Well, part of it. I saw the first season, and then it got too like Heidi didn't. We were watching together. She didn't like it anymore. She was like, it's kind of too fucked up. It was like all the
Yeah.
rape and all
I
that.
thought I thought it was like interesting, but like I
Yeah.
didn't watch it for the longest time because I thought I don't like period pieces. I don't like period pieces. And just based on how it was marketed and the pictures, I thought it was like, took place in pilgrim times because they're all wearing those stupid
Right. Now I could
hats.
see that. Yeah.
So it was way better than I thought it was going to be
Right.
when I did start watching it.
Because it wasn't about pilgrims.
Right. It wasn't about pilgrim women. It was about powerless. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I'll back you up. I was trying to think like, what is a worse gift than a book? Maybe
Soap.
a soap is pretty bad. Yeah.
I mean, I would
Soap
rather
is,
get it. I'd rather get it as a gift, but I would also be more offended by it.
yeah. Also a little passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Like you stink. You're smelly. Here's a book and some soap. You're a smelly idiot.
Here's a toothbrush,
that's
some
what that
soap, and a
says.
shower cap. What?
and a Hooked on Phonics.
Right.
Then what if your mother-in-law was buying you books every Christmas and they were just more and more remedial? Like first it's
Right.
like,
Each
you
year.
know, Tolstoy, and then like 10 years later it's Dr. Seuss.
Huh?
It's like, I'm gonna find his level. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
there. He's gonna love this Amelia Bedelia.
He's gonna learn to love reading.
That's like, I do this bit about how, bad the free little libraries, the books in the free little.
I see those now that we've moved to Madison. They're all over here.
Yeah.
And I always think of you every time I run by one.
It's got to be a good city for it, but I kind of have to quit doing it because I gotta eat my words, because these ones in Portland, now that we're gonna have a baby, you're just so many children's books, and you don't want to buy children's books because I don't know, like you said, I don't know what my daughter's tastes are going to be like. So that we've been grabbing children's books like crazy out of the free little libraries just to like load up, and it's great because you don't have to care if it's good or not.
Yeah. You guys gonna put a free little library in your front yard?
Yeah, that's high on the list of things.
What do you do when you're done with your books?
That's a good question. I put them on the shelf, and then usually at some point we move, and I get rid of them. I don't.
We take them. I don't know why. Like our bookshelves are like decor, and you gotta you don't. You know, it doesn't look good if you have a den with 4 books on all the shelves.
And then just like DVD collections of The Office and Frasier.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we have a bunch of them that we fill up on the shelves, but then like I feel bad too, because then do you organize them? Like, do you have them by like, here's the biographies and here are or are they just kind of mismatched?
Kind of.
That's pretty good. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I have, 4 rows that are all Stephen King.
It's
I love easy my Stephen King.
It's easy to organize them because it's Stephen King.
Because they're all the
same.
Then
like the mother-in-law books underneath those.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I back you up. That's a crappy present, and I can't even think of what the worst present other than soap. I remember, the Amazon gift card is pretty. I mean, that's a good present because it's so easy. You can use it on anything, but it is kind of like I don't put almost no thought into.
And that's fine with me. Like I would love that. Like, okay, you don't know me. Great, you went with the safe gift.
I just like this idea of your mother-in-law just trying to find your intelligence. She's like, here's some books. Okay, here's a puzzle. Here's a rake. Keep Johnny occupied. All right.
All right. All right. What do you got?
Here's what I got. This is good because we were just talking about Portland and Madison and free little libraries, and I'm curious if this exists in Madison or not. But the thing I've noticed here in Portland lately, especially in my neighborhood, there'll be these signs in people's yards that will say certified backyard habitat. Have you ever seen that in Madison, or is that just
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, man, I'm so curious if it's only a Portland thing. So I looked
into it. What's it supposed to mean?
Yeah, I didn't know either. So I looked into it. You can get your yard certified by the city or whoever, I don't know, is doing it.
Right.
As a habitat, if you like landscape it with enough native plants, and if it's like enough natural growth, and it's like good for bees and bugs and everything. So it wouldn't be like a crisp green lawn. That would not get certified as a natural backyard habitat. It would have to be a bunch of bushes and
look shitty
like that. Yeah. So that's kind of my point. Is that so these people work, first of all, like how hard do you need to like approval in your life where you're getting your lawn
certified,
or your yard? But then to me, that's what I need backup on, I guess, is like, wouldn't the dude who just never did anything to his yard be the most natural backyard. Like really the yard that's naturally certified should be the one with all the dandelions and the blackberry bushes, you know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
the most natural it can get.
Yeah, just the unmaintained backyard by default,
Right.
messy, unkempt. Yeah, I would think so for sure. Well, wait,
That's what
here's
I'm
my
saying.
question: what, who, like, who gives a shit? Like, why? What do you? Is it a tax break or who cares? Like, is it like bragging rights or who? What?
No.
If I saw that, I'd be like, what does that mean? Who? Why do I
Well, it
care? Why
is.
does anyone care?
It's an ultimate who gives a shit. Yeah. No, I do think it's like there's just people out there who just crave the
They just want
approval.
people to know. They want the guy walking his
Well,
dog
and
to
like
know.
if you're like such an expert level landscaper and you've done all these like subtle things to make your yard like better than the neighbors, most people walking by are not going to notice. So you want it to be like, I don't know, it's like someone getting like their baseball card. People like send their baseball cards into appraisers and then get them
Yeah.
back to know like the value. It's like the same idea, I guess, except they can't even sell this yard. I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it really is like that thing. Some people just need grades. Like you go through school, and they give you grades, and you feel good because you get good grades. And then at a certain point as an adult, you look around, you realize, hey, nobody's grading me anymore. Nobody's
Right.
deciding that I'm good anymore. Who's making me feel good? And so they just have to look to other people.
Yeah, they have to get their backyard certified.
They have to get their backyard certified.
Oh, that's terrible.
I don't
That's
know.
terrible.
And and
That's a little too greeny, hippy dippy. That's like, hey,
but see, I would say it's even the opposite of hippy dippy because it's like a true hippie is not
it's
like
like a fish
looking
fan hippie.
right. It's like, yeah, a true hippie is not looking for government approval of their
Exactly.
natural paradise. It's kind of like oxymoron or whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah. So anyway,
totally
we don't
agree.
need certified backyard habitats is what I guess is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I need backup on. I was just
A true hippie wouldn't need the sign to tell everyone, hey, there's a bunch of bees safely living in
right.
my backyard.
Just have the confidence that the bees like your yard. You don't need to
Yeah.
go around telling everybody that you're bee friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
all. I was curious. I thought maybe that's a thing in Madison or other cities, but maybe it is just a Portland thing. I don't know.
I mean, it
I'll have
could
to.
be, and I never noticed it because I'm not you know me, I'm not a huge attention to detail guy. But now watch, I'll start noticing them now that you pointed it out to me.
No, you're not a big reader. Yeah, I've seen
Right.
signs. I
I don't know what they
don't know.
say.
Don't know what they're saying. I don't know. Could have said
Right.
Biden. It could have said certified backyard habitat. I'm not stopping to read them. I don't have all day.
Right. Exactly. I got
All
places to
right.
go.
Okay, buddy. What do you got next?
All right. Now this one, you are having. I heard someone told me you're having a baby. Is this? Do you want to confirm the rumors?
Oh well, way to let the cat out of the
Yeah.
bag. But
Sorry. Didn't
yes, yes. In
didn't mean
fact,
to
my
steal
wife
all your
is
glory.
in labor right now.
Oh,
I'm doing. I came home from the hospital just to record this, and I assume things are
that's
going good.
dedication.
So, yeah, we're
Yep.
excited.
Yep. Yep. My family was in a car accident, and I should probably go help them, but we gotta record. So
And I don't think that car seat performed up to its
I'll tell you when
standards,
I get out there to the site. But
but it seemed pretty jostly.
yeah. So anyway, so this is for people having a boy because you're having a girl. The whole circumcision decision that needs to be made. Uh
Oh
I don't
God.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the whole cliche of, well, I want my son's penis to look like mine. There's nothing wrong with
Right.
that. And like, see, when we had our boy, uh, it was a whole. My wife is very, whatever. Let's, all natural, everything. And I just was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and put my foot down. That's my preference. Let's just do that. It's the norm. And I'm hit with all these arguments of, well, it's, the numbers are going down. It's people are doing it less and less. There's actually no benefit. In Europe, people don't even do it. It's weird. Like, it's weird if you do it in here or whatever. I'm just like, okay, well, we're not in Europe. We're in here.
Yeah.
And I don't need my son's penis to be fashion forward, so can't, like, I don't know. I
Right.
just I don't understand the pushback. I don't see what's wrong with
Yeah,
that.
because that's a good point, because you could say that's I first of all, half of the reason why my wife and I were excited that we were having a girl is that we didn't have to make that decision, because we knew that it was like neither of us felt strongly about it really either way, but we just didn't want to have to decide.
Right.
It just seems so like fraught with, but it's I'll back you up in the sense that people say, well, there's no real reason to do it, but there's also like no downside to doing it. There's no danger. Like, no one gets like, there's no like incidences of someone accidentally getting their dick cut off. Right?
I'm sure there are
Has that
at
ever
some
happened?
point, but I don't know. But, like, the whole thing of like, well, I'm not gonna, you're mutilating your baby's
Yeah, it's not
genitals.
mutilating.
I don't know. I'm assuming they numb it, whatever. It doesn't feel good. Whatever. It's I don't know. Maybe I just think I could see there, even like in 20 years, maybe, a trends, whatever, that's going to be like seem archaic. Oh, people used to cut, used to well, we're not there. We're not there yet. Then my
Right.
son, when he has a son, he can make that decision and put an end to that. But we're not there today. And I don't want,
Yeah.
when I put my penis next to his penis, I want it to look,
It's a lot
I
of
want them to look.
father-son penis comparisons.
Right.
Yeah, no. And also, this whole idea of like what it looks like, that should be the last consideration, like to this whole thing really anyway, because not if you're looking at someone's penis, it's
And I am.
that's not, no, but I mean, like, if you're once you're looking at a penis, and you're in the room, in the bed or whatever, I mean, that's not going to be the deal breaker. No one's going to go,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
wait a second, actually I'm double parked. Like, I don't think it's going to cause any backlash.
Yeah, no one's gonna get out of the back seat of the car once the penis is out just because.
Right. No one's going to get out of the Uber ride once they
Right.
realize their driver.
Right.
But and I don't think, does anyone really like, this would be a great time to have a woman on the show, because I'm sure there's preferences, but is that ever going to be a deal breaker either way? Is anyone?
I mean, I've heard drunk women talk, and I don't need my son to be, not to, not
Yeah.
to put off any of our listeners that are not circumcised, but this is true. This is how, it was back and forth. I said, all right, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just Google image uncircumcised penis. And
Yeah.
my son is circumcised. So that's
After your wife saw enough uncircumcised penises, that helped make the
yeah,
decision?
but she wasn't like, oh my gosh, yeah, okay, yeah, we better. It was like, ugh, whatever, fine,
Yeah.
but it was still exactly.
Well, I'm circumcised, and hasn't been.
I know, I remember. No, but you know what's funny? Have you ever heard have you heard Jimmy Pardo's joke?
No, I don't think
joke.
so.
He's like, I was taking a bath with my nephew, and my nephew was like, Uncle Jimmy, how come my penis doesn't look like your penis? And he said, well, that's because my penis is erect.
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll back you up, but I will say I'm glad. It is so great that we didn't have to make that decision. That's the best thing about having a daughter is you don't have to make any decisions like that. All we
No.
have to do is just decide not to vaccinate her. That's the easiest.
Right.
That's
Right.
that one's so easy. And for us, it's more of a looks thing. We're just worried the vaccine will change her looks. So
Yeah, you don't want one of those little holes in her
I don't
arm
want
or her
those. I don't want to
leg.
mute. I don't want to mutilate her upper left arm.
Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
we're pump her full of vaccines. We went to the midwife, and they were like, "Oh yeah, they recommend these 3 medications. It's this one thing, another thing, and another thing. Hepatitis B vaccine was one of them." She's like, "Yeah, it's just you can put that off for later because it's kind of a lot of action." I was, give her
Load
the
her
whole
up.
boat, load her up. Let me tell you something, lady. We're barely taking this kid to the doctor, so you might want to get him in while you get the chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Okay.
All right. I feel backed up on that one.
Good. Yeah, that's that. You were going out on a limb there because that is a hot topic. I do know people have strong feelings about that both ways. So.
And the cleanliness, that's one thing they say is cleanliness. I don't know if that's there's
I don't buy
you
that.
do read enough research, you'll find that's not true, blah blah blah. I just don't need anyone.
I mean, what's when they say cleanliness, like what's going on there? Like
well, you get
you're
dick
not
cheese.
you get shit in there, like
well, not shit. I hope
or something.
I don't know.
Trail
Schmegma.
Okay.
Schmegma.
I don't know what that is.
Is dick cheese, Andrew?
Okay. Still don't know what that. Okay, so all right, this is another. We'll see if I mean I'm sure you're gonna back me up, so I don't even need to do this. But we're having a baby, and my wife
God's little
follows
miracles.
some people on Instagram, like they're actual influencers. It's funny because you hear that term influencer all the time, and it's very easy to go, well, what even is that? What is an influencer? But now, and you might even follow a few because there's some comics that I used to know in LA. They're just comedians, and now they just basically become influencers, which essentially means they talk into their camera on their phone, and then they get products in the mail, and then they talk about what products they like. And there's these ones who are moms or about to be moms, and they're like, oh, I like this stroller, I like this whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's this thing I've noticed, and it must work because they all do it, but it drives me crazy, which is they'll post, and people do this on social media all the time. So I guess it's just my pet peeve in general with social media, but they'll post like inane questions for their followers just to get any reaction.
Yeah.
So like literally it'll be things like, hey guys, and they'll just be talking in their phone, It's like, hey guys, what do we think about stop signs? Are we stopping at every stop sign, or are we rolling through them? Go ahead and sound off in the comments. It's like, what is you're just wasting our. What do you guys think about fresh air? Do we love fresh air, or do we kind of like to be inside? Go ahead and let me know. Like I would see, and before the election, it was the worst. It was like, guys, it's so crazy. There's like this election coming up. What do you think? Are you guys gonna vote or what?
Sound off.
Sound off. They're all like, everyone's become like bad talk radio hosts.
Yeah, that's so funny. And they never go back like, oh, before I go to bed, I asked a bunch of people to sound off. I gotta go through those. I gotta go through, see what my followers think of stop signs.
It's really opened my eyes about fresh air. I'm just thinking about it all different, but people are making some good points on here. They're not reading these. You're right. You're so right. These reactions.
I mean, this is data that has to be stored somewhere on some hard drive. It's just filled with people sounding off on fresh air, stop signs.
And I guess the part that makes me the maddest is like, it must work because they do it, and these are the experts. These people, we're bad. Me and you, we're not great at social media,
right.
We're clearly.
Right.
So we're we're not doing it right. They're doing it right. They're doing the thing that, they're getting the free shit in the mail. So they're doing something right. And
now
so
I'm
that
going to
kind of
be
thing
embarrassed.
works.
I'm going to be embarrassed when you see my upcoming few posts. After we're done recording, I'm going to be like, hey guys, what do you think of my hat? Is it a cool hat? Not cool hat. Let me know. Let me know. Who's into candles?
Who's into What's up with candles? You guys are we into candles?
Yeah, sound off. I'll check it tonight.
Yeah, so I guess, and then that's what makes you the maddest is that I'm really mad at us as society or whatever because it works. So we're like,
we're perpetuating,
we're feeding in. It's like when and it happens. I see it on like Twitter all the time too. Like people will post like just dumb questions or like obvious answer movie polls or whatever, just to get people, because we as consumers, we can't wait to let people know what we think,
Right.
So and everyone falls into the trap. So I guess, I mean,
right.
Well, I never like an old man complaint.
No, but I think you enlightened me, because I think obviously the reason they're doing that is to get interaction and to get numbers and blah blah blah. Because I was always like, well, why? Who cares? Up or down? Which one do you like? What? But all enough people answer, right. Then that's interaction with your stupid Twitter account, and then I guess that's
A or
why
B.
they do it. Is still
sound off. A or B. Are we B people? Or are we A people?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, so it's like this is very much like old man yelling at a cloud stuff, but I've noticed it and it bothers me. And I think I'm not mad at the influencers or social media people who do it. Now I'm mad at us as a society for that working,
Right.
So we all need to better ourselves.
Yeah. So we're going to start with our listeners. Listeners, don't respond. Don't interact. Just ignore
Don't
them.
Follow any of our call to action. Don't do anything we say. I think like there was a podcast where it was like telling people not to listen to podcasts, and now we're telling people don't interact with our social media. We are great at this.
We are pros. We're pros.
God damn it, we're good.
We're ahead of our time. That's what it is, Andrew. God.
That's it. We're the anti podcast. Like,
hey, did you? I don't know if you noticed this, or if I should even say this on the air, but did you notice with our Pat McGann episode, my mic cut out during my thing? I was like, so I think my topic is trampolines are better, and it never like you never heard me say swimming pools. So the whole discussion.
Oh God, no, out. Really? I think it probably was one of those things, because I did edit that part, but I think it's probably one of those things where I knew what you said and in my head.
Yeah, so you just
I was
heard
there,
it.
And so I must have just. Was it like a glitch? Because it wasn't your microphone. It's probably like an internet glitch,
I think it was an internet thing. Yeah. Damn TDS.
We're gonna get there. Quality will improve every week.
That's right.
This one's been great. I haven't noticed any glitchiness. I think with two people too, it's better. I think like when there's less people in the Zoom, it doesn't glitch as much.
Well, either that or Pat McGann's just bad luck.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. That guy. Ugh.
Never have him on again. All right, buddy.
We'll end by just saying we're never having Pat McGann on.
We're never having Pat McGann on the show. We don't want you to interact with us on social media, and we really don't think podcasts are good for you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Oh, but before we go, make sure you leave a 5-star review with what you need backup on.
We'll discuss it on the show. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening to
The Cavalry.